What up? Crypto Warriors, Assault on Crypto, back at it again. Today is Monday, June 6th, 2020. However, I think that this video will be released on Friday, June 10th, because I'll be going on a little road trip over the weekend. So, this is a video that will be released on Friday, June 10th. Starting out on Twitter today, a tweet from our president, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Nasdaq hits all-time high. People are losing their jobs, okay? People are losing their jobs. We're seeing a spike in this COVID situation in the states that reopened. And I don't know, how is the Nasdaq hitting all-time highs? Well, we have somebody that responded here, and I like his tweets. While you cheerlead the Nasdaq, here are the other broader market indices for comparisons. Again, if you want to see these tweets, give me a follow here on Twitter at SalterCrypto99, and you'll see my like tweets. Anyway, there go the broader indices. So I guess this must be the Nasdaq that's pumping right up there. Okay, boom. We got, then he goes, permanent job losses keep mounting, FYI. Very true. Permanent job losses. Although we have states reopening, here in New York today is quote-unquote phase 3. Gyms are supposed to be reopening. Nail salons and things of that nature are supposed to be reopening. And yeah, we'll see. Because if this thing spikes again, then they'll be shutting them back down once again. With that being said, a lot of these jobs, a lot of these small businesses aren't coming back. They're permanently closed down. People are refusing to go back to work because they make more money on collecting on unemployment. It's just facts. Permanent job losses keep mounting. While the banking index is down 34% on the year, it helps to look underneath the hood. So banking index is down 34%. But yet the Nasdaq index is up, hit all-time highs according to our president there. The stock market is a Ponzi. And I saw this tweet, and then guess what? This came across in my email, so I had to check it out. The stock market is a Ponzi. This is from Medium. This is written by Tim Denning. I'm going to give him a follow here on Medium. And it's a great article. It's only a 6-minute read, but I'm going to break it down for you right now. The stock market is built on non-dividend paying companies. That is a real problem, according to financial expert Tan Lu. So he gives a brief history about himself, and he goes into what is a Ponzi. A Ponzi scheme, for those who haven't heard of the term, according to Investopedia, is a fraudulent investing scam promising high rates of return with little risk to investors. Ponzi scheme generates returns for early investors by acquiring new investors. This is similar to a pyramid scheme in that both are based on using new investors' funds to pay the earlier backers. Both Ponzi scheme and pyramid schemes eventually bottom out when the flood of new investors dries up and there isn't enough money to go around. At that point, the scheme unravels. The Ponzi scheme is named after a swindler named Charles Ponzi, who orchestrated the first one in 1919. Brief history. Here we go. This is going to be one of my longer videos, so stick with me here. If you like what I'm bringing you guys, please smash that like, hit that subscribe button, smack YouTube in the face, let them know that you like videos like this. The idea that the stock market could be a Ponzi scheme came from Tan Lu, who wrote the book, The Ponzi Factor. He has a degree in finance and master's of statistics and spent his career from 2005 to 2015 working in finance until he quit to teach statistics and do research full-time. Here it is. There are basically two types of stocks. Shares that pay dividends, cash, to you on a regular basis, and stocks that don't pay you anything. Stocks that don't pay you any dividends will only make you money if their price rises. This category of stocks is where the problem starts, according to Tan. In an Australian interview, he compares the creation of stocks to money printing. We are seeing that currently right now in today's environment, where we have all the central banks of the world. They're all doing their quantitative easing. their bailouts, their stimulus checks, whatever the case is. They're just printing money, or in this case, currency. They're just printing a lot of currency to give their friends who are bankers, who are these executives, because they're the ones that's closest to the money printer. He calls the stock market a Ponzi scheme, stock printing. The strategy of printing money is currently being used by many countries to fight the global recession, including the US. It's not called money printing when you see it, though. Money printing has many names: stimulus checks, bailouts, Federal Reserve buying corporate bonds and stocks. Money printing is creating money out of thin air. It devalues the money that you have in your savings accounts, making it worthless and acting like a hidden tax you didn't know you were paying. This is why it doesn't pay to save. Only losers save. Just like how Robert Kiyosaki says, only losers save. You can't save money. It doesn't make sense to save money because they're devaluing the money that you're trying to save. Stock printing is the creation of more stocks out of thin air by a company. Many of the stocks going crazy right now: Facebook, Amazon, Google, all of which are on the Nasdaq. That's why the Nasdaq is hitting all-time new highs as of today, while we have millions of people across this country losing their jobs or that are still out of work. Let me see, Amazon, Facebook, Google don't pay you any money for owning them. So you're not even getting a dividend from these companies. You're not profit sharing, so to speak, from these companies when you buy their stock. When you buy a share of their company, you're not getting a share of all that profit. They create more and more stocks which is fine, assuming that the stock market doesn't suffer a sudden cardiac arrest. When stocks start going down or have a prolonged downturn, like they did in Japan for the last 30 years, then things get real. And that's when you may wish you have challenged your beliefs about money and investing earlier. And this is where the term zombie companies come from, because Japan, all their companies is being floated by their Federal Reserve or by their central bank. Their central banks are buying up all of these companies, buying up all these stocks and debts and things of that nature, keeping it afloat. And this happened way back in the 80s. It started way back in the 80s, I should say. You don't own a part of the business if you buy their stock. Stan says that if you own a stock like Tesla, you have no ownership in the company. If their stock price goes from 1,000 to 800, Tesla doesn't step in and make up the difference. He uses Google as an example and says they don't pay dividends. There are no voting rights, and the par value of Google is only 0.001 cent, so less than a penny. So if you own a share of Google, you won't receive any money from the business. You can't vote, and Google is only obligated to pay you 0.001 cent for that $1,200 share. That is crazy for whatever reason, although it's damn near impossible at this current time right now. For whatever reason, if Google should just stop existing and the company should just go under, the Alphabet, the company behind Google, if it should just go under for whatever reason, you're only going to get 0.001 cent per share that you own. And Google is currently worth $1,200 according to their stock price. Owners of a business get a share of the profits. If you're not getting paid to be an owner in a company, then what do you really own? Tan says, nothing. And this is why cryptocurrencies are way better than stocks. When you're talking about the fact that with staking, for instance, my example here, at least with staking, you're helping to validate the network and helping to secure the network, which you get rewarded for. So this is why it's important to have some staking cryptos. This way you're able to take part in the network and get rewarded for taking part in that network. This is why Ethereum is going towards staking. This is why we see Cardano is pumping right now because the Shelly mainnet release. Tezos, Icon, there are a lot of different projects out there. You just have to do your own research, DYOR, to find out more. Stocks have no value. Not going to go in that part, so pretty much be here all day. But the way you make money from non-dividend paying stocks, the way you make a profit on owning non-dividend paying stocks is to sell them to other investors for a higher price than you initially paid. And this is a definition of a Ponzi. By and large, that's what a definition of a Ponzi is. You're waiting for someone else to come and buy it from you at a higher price. If you're not getting any dividends on these stocks, this is why, although, what's his name, Warren Buffett, this is why he didn't invest, or he doesn't invest in a lot of these tech companies, because he's not getting a dividend in them. And, people give him crap for it. Oh, he doesn't understand tech and things like that. But it makes sense. And this is why he only invested in Apple within the past decade, because Apple just started paying a dividend. It makes sense. Apple is still a growth company. They're still growing. However, they're also paying a dividend. So when you hear the idea that, oh, these companies are growing still, or they're just reinvesting into the growth of the company, a lot of that is false. Look at history to understand. Anything important in here? So here it is. Before the 1900s, Tan research shows that all stocks pay dividends. Stocks had a definitive profit-sharing agreement between the shareholders and the companies they own, says Tan. So, over 100 years ago, that was how you made money with the stock market. Was through dividend-paying stocks. And you can still find dividend-paying stocks in the stock market. Or you could go all in on crypto and then use a staking protocol like an Ethereum, if they eventually get there, or a Cardano, or Icon, or Tezos. Obviously, I'm shilling my bags, but, it is what it is. To reinvest their profits into the growth of the company is a lie. Just like I stated before, the common argument that was given to me when I bought Facebook and Amazon stocks was that they didn't pay dividends because they invested their profits in the growth of the company. I believe the statement, but now I'm beginning to question it. You got to question your thoughts. You got to get out of the echo chamber. When you're starting to get all these different ideas, or if you're just hearing the same thing over and over again, and it's just a confirmation bias, basically. So he's doing the right thing. He's starting to question things, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to question things. This is how you stay ahead of the curve, so to speak. Tan says there is no evidence that backs up this statement. There is no transparency to show you that the money you could be getting paid through dividend is actually being reinvested for your benefit. Again, with that transparency, at least with a stake crypto protocol, you're actually seeing it, and it's on a blockchain, and you can see it, and you're being a part of the network you're being a part of the network when it comes to staking your cryptos in the network. Not sharing profits with investors is nothing more than an excuse, according to Tan, and it's an easy way for them to get rich off the people who buy their stocks, because the more stocks you buy, the higher the price of the stock goes, and it's just a vicious cycle. There are many companies like Apple that are high growth and pay investors dividend. So why shouldn't all companies do that? Do like that? Solution: diversify your risk between multiple assets. Cryptos, not financial advice, but you should be owning some Bitcoin and a couple other cryptocurrencies as well. But challenge your belief and assumptions. You got to always challenge what you believe, or you'll just be stuck in that echo chamber. Stay away from the hype, as always. Avoid FOMO when it comes to investing. Invest money in your learning to grow mental and financial wealth. You have to always want to learn more when it comes to investing, or just to things in general, just as life. If you're not learning, then you might as well just be dead. Delve into the concept of money printing and bubbles. Well, if you're in crypto, then you're definitely into the concept of money printing, because this is why you're here. You're trying to escape that system. And we all know about bubbles because we saw what happened in 2017. Final thought. Here's his final thoughts. My final thoughts, I'm not even going to go into it right here with his, but my final thoughts are, this is why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies exist to this day, or this day, because of the traditional financial system. It's a scam. It's a Ponzi. It's taking money from the poor and just giving it directly to the wealthy and the rich. This is why cryptos exist, and you are still very early. You're very, very early, and there are plenty of opportunities right now in cryptocurrencies if you're willing to learn more about cryptos and learn more about these different protocols and get a share and be a part of that network just by owning it. You're actually, when you own Bitcoin, right, when you have it in your wallet, you're a part of the network. You're helping that network. You're helping the network to grow. When you own some Ethereum, it's the same thing. When you own something like Tezos and you're staking your Tezos, you're definitely being a part of that network. So that's my solution, moving forward. That's my final thoughts. My final thoughts is you got to be in crypto. This video, is definitely for those that are more in the traditional stock market, right? And they're heavily invested in stocks. You got to come over to the light side of the force. Leave the dark side. That's my final thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, smash those likes, all that good stuff. It's Sergeant Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.